I just woke up maybe 20 minutes ago. It's 12:33 p.m. Saturday, March 23rd, 2024. I currently have like 160 bucks to my name. I have like 3 or 4 copies left of my book, The Real Nig Bible, and I've been trying to figure out how to get this thing to go viral for like the last couple weeks because I know I have something incredible. I have something fucking special, dude. And I wrote this book by accident. I fucking was microdosing on mushrooms, and I just wrote it because it was fucking funny. I was just gonna share it with the few people, dude, at work. And now I'm a fucking published author through Barnes and Noble. It's diff. I feel like it'd be different if like I planned this. Like I don't know how many people like accidentally become authors, but I accidentally became an author. It's fucking freezing out here. I'm going to my home here. So let me tell you something. I've been documenting on video for the last 2 years. About, yeah, last 25 months. I've been documenting. Who says that? 25 months. It's like parents say that about their kid, right? He's fucking 39 months old. Like, bitch, carry the three. All right. So, yeah, I've been documenting my life for like the last 25 months. I have like 2,500 videos like in a Google Drive of like videos of my life from the last 2 years, and most of those aren't ever going to get posted. Most of them aren't. That's because I would tell people, like, hey, I may release this in like 20 years for like a documentary or something, and there are other people involved who contributed to the videos who would want to say so and want to utilize them in a particular way. So those are out of the question as of right now. I'll figure it out as I go. I might have some B-roll for certain things if I'm telling a specific story about something. But look, last night I called an emergency meeting with my friends 2 days ago. And last night we hopped on a call on Zoom. There was a total of 4 of us. So 3 people came out on Zoom to brainstorm and help me out. Because I'm running out of money. I don't really know what's like where things are going, and like I need some help in terms of figuring out what my next steps are in terms of getting my book to go viral. And not just get it to go viral, because it's not necessarily about just like getting it to go viral. It's about enjoying the journey, and most of all, like I want what is it that I'm doing to feel good inside of my body. Like I want it to feel exciting. I want it to feel like organic. I want it to flow. I want it to feel good. I want to have fucking fun, dude. I want to have a good time. So, what I have been doing is I've been going to comedy shows. In the last 16 days, I have gone to 7 comedy shows, and I've seen some world class comedy. I've seen uh, fucking awesome people on stage. I've seen Bobby Lee, I've seen Eric Griffin, I've seen Alonzo Bowden, I've seen Dion Cole, and Craig Robinson. And most of these people have a copy of my book because what I wanted to do was I wanted to sit right in the front row at these comedy shows, and when comedians come out and talk to people, I can say that I'm an author and that'll open up dialogue, all this kind of stuff. I can get them a copy of my book. Well, the thing is, like, not a single comedian asked me what I do yet. I'm over here in the audience with pocket full of books, and like I have to be strategic on like how I get these comedians a book. So like with Craig Robinson, he was walking off a stage, And I was right in the fucking front, and I handed him a book right before he got off stage. He looked at it, he laughed at it, he showed the audience laughed, and he walked off. And with other people like Alonzo Bowden, he was about to get off stage, and somebody that I know, a comedian, I wouldn't call him a friend because I didn't even like fucking know him, walked up and like handed Alonzo the book while he's about to get off stage. And Alonzo looks at it and he goes, "Okay, someone just handed me something that says the Real Nigga Bible on it." Dude, it was so cool. It's weird, bro. It's so weird that these people, like, that this is an actual book that I wrote. There's so many real niggas, bro, who've come before me. Motherfucking, there's like fucking like 30 bald niggas that could have wrote this book. Like 30 fucking, OG niggas, man. Like Shaq could have wrote this book. Motherfucking Tupac, Martin Luther King. Who else? There's so many real niggas, bro, who have come before me that could have written this book, and somehow, and how it goes down in history, I'm the one who wrote it, which is strange. It's very strange, and uh, it's an honor. It's a fucking honor. What can I say? I'm happy to be the one who is the representative of the Real Nigga Bible. Crazy. So anyway, we hop on this call and we're brainstorming ideas, me and my friends. And I'm like, okay, because I'm just staying open. Like, okay, is there something here that would really resonate with me, that I really enjoy, that I really like, that I really fuck with? And I'm like, okay, I'll stay open. And this morning I woke up and I was like, I got it. I'm just gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna document my journey in terms of like making this go viral. Like, I'm just gonna figure it out. Now I'm gonna tell you something. You, as a viewer, you are going to be tempted to give ideas like this is motherfucking Bandersnatch, Black Mirror, where you choose your own path. It's not going to be like that at all. I am fully aware that there are things that I can do that can potentially be more high leverage to get this to go viral faster. But the thing is, it just wouldn't feel fun for me. And I'm heavily motivated by fun. I'm heavily motivated by fun. If it's not fun, why am I going to do it? My life, I measure my life in terms of units of time. Because while I can buy time, I cannot replenish time. And I want to spend my life as little as possible, as very minimal as possible, doing things that I don't want to do. Yeah, sure. I can film a motherfucking infomercial about the book. I can do funny skits, right? Ride a fucking bicycle like I'm a Mormon, go door to door. I have a microphone, I have a camera. I can, reach out to people. We can film these pranks. We can get them online. We can get them to go viral. Boom, Real Nigga Bible is a big thing. Do I want to do that? No. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get on a bicycle. I don't want to set up a Jehovah's Witness stand. Uh, maybe, maybe. At least right now, presently in this moment, there are other things that are more pressing. Like, okay, what do we do for money? So, um, I've been thinking about working at a comedy club so that I am in the comedy environment. I get to learn from other comedians. I can talk about my book freely because I can't, nigga, I can't just like, oh, I work at Target, nigga, I wrote the Real Nigga Bible. That's not gonna help me out so much, right? I want something that can like amplify what it is that I'm doing. So I can talk to people in the environment about the book, and it's well received. So comedy clubs are really good. The thing is, like, there are no comedy clubs around me that are currently hiring. So I gotta figure that out. In the meantime, I went to this comedy show on Monday. A mentor of mine introduced me to a guy who has been putting on comedy shows in the LA area for 26 years. He's put big name people on stages like Joe Coy. Um, uh, when he first started promoting in LA, fucking Dave Chappelle would go visit and, do the shows that he was running, and that like gave him a lot of credibility. Not Chappelle, but this promoter guy. I'll say his name. I think he would appreciate it. His name is Jay Davis. Jay Davis has been put on shows for like fucking motherfucking Burt Kreischer, Joe Coy, um, who else? Dane Cook, all kinds of people. He's a legend in the comedy game, for sure. And I had a mentor of mine introduce me to him, and I went down to LA, Hollywood specifically, to go to a show that he puts on every Monday and Tuesday at this amazing, fucking beautiful Japanese restaurant called Yamashiro. And as a matter of fact, at this fucking Japanese restaurant, there is the incredible view of fucking Hollywood. It's immaculate. Not just that, but right in the motherfucking center of the restaurant is this beautiful Japanese garden, which happens to be the garden that was filmed in motherfucking Kill Bill. In the comedy room at this place, you walk out the room, nigga, you're right at that garden. It's immaculate. It's 10 out of 10 room. Jay did a great job selecting this place, and I think he's been hosting the show here every Monday and Tuesday for a couple years now. So I meet Jay, and I had him a copy of my book, and he loves the book. Absolutely loves the book. He appreciates the book tremendously. And the question comes out, oh, so like how long you been doing stand up for? And I'm like, well, I don't do stand up. I'm more of a writer. I haven't been really interested in doing stand up really because last when I did it, 10 years ago, it was fun. I remember one time I fucking crushed it and I had a 45-minute ride back home. That drive home felt like 5 minutes. I was on cloud motherfucking 9, bro. I was like, whoa. I remember getting off the freeway. I was like, wait a second. I'm home already? What the fuck? And he's like, yeah, like, so, okay, so you don't do comedy, okay, whatever. But like, he spoke to me, like, he didn't even like fucking hear what I said about, like, I don't do stand up, nor did I really have interest in getting back into stand up. I just wanted to be like a writer and I want stand up friends. And but he just talked to me still like as if I'm like, oh yeah, like you're gonna go do like shows and you're gonna get on stage. So he's been mentoring me, and there's another person who is at this comedy show. His name is a DJ Crash. He's a DJ, and he said, "Yeah, man, you can make your act about like the book." And I'm like still in like survival mode, right? When you're in survival mode, what happens is you get like tunnel vision, and like you try to like singularly focus on things, and it's hard to relax and sit back and just like open yourself up to the world. So you planted that seed, and I went down to the comedy store. I was like, I'm thinking about getting a job at the comedy store. So I spoke to Jay in terms of strategy. He said, go there, around this time and do this, speak to these people about this. So I go, and they totally shut me down. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to another comedy club that is closer to me, and I'm gonna apply. And everybody at this comedy club that I went to a couple of days ago were like, "Oh, you gotta apply on Indeed. They're not hiring, and none of the other clubs in the area are hiring either." And at this comedy show on Thursday, I'm sitting down and I'm there super early, right? Because the doors open at 6:30. The show doesn't start till 8 p.m. So I always carry my journal with me. I won't say always carry my, yeah, I always carry my journal with me in my backpack, and I always carry a book with me. Because you never know. I would rather read a book than be on my phone. Now, am I still on my phone sometimes? Of course. But it's better for me to have a book and like not use it than for me to really want to read and not have it. You know how frustrating it is when I'm like, I don't want to use my phone anymore. I want to read and I don't have a fucking book. So and I'm reading this book. This is my this book is like my Bible. I know I wrote a Bible, but I also have a book that is like my Bible, which is this book, The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. This book has transformed my motherfucking life, man, because it teaches me what it means to live like an artist. And as a matter of fact, my book would not exist without this book. And I talk about it in my book. So I'm reading this, and there's a great section on here. It talks about the beginner's mind. I'll actually read a part of this that really helped me out. It says, he said here, the more ingrained your adopted approach, the harder it is to see past it. Though experience doesn't rule out innovation, it can make it more difficult to access. Animals, like children, don't have a hard time making a decision. They act out innate instinct, not learned behavior. This primitive force packs an ancient wisdom that science has yet to catch up with. These childlike superpowers include being in the moment, valuing play above all else, having no regard for consequences, being radically honest without consideration, and having the ability to move freely from one emotion to the next without holding on to the story. For children, each moment in time is all there is. No future, no past. I want it now. I'm hungry. I'm tired. All pure authenticity. The great artists throughout history are the ones able to maintain this childlike enthusiasm and exuberance naturally. Just as an infant is selfish, they're protective of their art in a way that is not always cooperative. Their needs as a creator comes first, often at the expense of their personal lives and relationships. But there was one thing that was said in here that was also, here we go. It says, innocence brings forth innovation. A lack of knowledge can create more openings to break new ground. The Ramones thought they were making mainstream bubblegum pop. To most others, the lyrical content alone about lobotomies, sniffing glue, and pinheads was enough to challenge this assumption. Let's see. Experience provides wisdom to draw from, but it tempers the power of naivete. The past can be a teacher offering tried and true methods, familiarity with the standards of the craft, awareness of potential risk, and in some cases, virtuosity. It lures us into a pattern that absolves us of opportunity to engage innocently with the task at hand. So I know that's a lot there, and it's like fluffy, and it seems like woo woo, and it's spiritual, and there's a lot to dissect, and you probably zoned out for a little bit because it can be a dense read. Um, Basically, what I was trying to do was I was trying to make this plan. I was trying to come up with a plan in terms of I'm gonna do this, and each and every single time, yes, with my plan, there are ways that it has helped me go forward. At the same time, man, it's causing me a tremendous amount of stress, and I don't think that with this book I'm meant to be like extremely stressed. The Real Nigga Bible, I think where I'm at right now, it's time for a season of fun because I just spent the last 9 years working on myself extremely diligently and being very disciplined and going all out, fucking balls to the wall, work my fucking face off to make something happen. And even when I'm not working, on the times where I'm not working, I'm listening to a podcast, listening to an audiobook, reading, writing, talking to people to help me out. my life for the last 9 years was nothing but productivity, move forward, growth, nonstop plan, work hard, and prioritize fun second. But bro, I'm motivated by fun. I want to have fun. I want to have a good time, and I'm a lot of fun. And what this is doing, my book is doing, is it's helping me get out of my shell. I've been in this professional kind of mold for so long. Like, this is how I'm supposed to be. I can't say this. I can't be like that. This doesn't make sense. So anyway, back at the comedy show, I said, you know what, man? At the time, I had like $180 in my name, and four copies left or five copies left on my book, whatever it is. And I said, you know what, man? I'm not gonna fucking worry about it. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna I'm gonna drift with the wind. As a matter of fact, I fucking wrote this shit down. I'm glad I have my handy dandy journal here. Let's see, let me go back to Thursday. There we go. Here. This is what I wrote. 7 p.m. Ontario Improv, Thursday, March 21st, 2024. 2 days ago. I think I'm going to throw out any notion of a plan. It's obvious that who I was is not what I needed at this time in my life. It requires me to be myself. Let me take it day by day. That's all I can really do. I'm about to go broke. It appears I am making progress opportunity-wise. Doors open, one by one. Only thing I can do is just be me, whatever the fuck that means. Wherever the fuck that leads. How would I move forward if I knew nothing? I don't even realize that's my greatest asset. This is innovation. This has never been done before. We can't bring the past into this. This book is your fullest permission to be yourself. Don't worry about money. Just like drift in the wind. Let's throw everything to the fucking wind. And let me tell you something about I put my journal down, and right after I engage in this conversation with this woman next to me, older woman, probably like in her 60s, very kind but strong black woman, very gentle but firm, just like what you would want from like a good grandmother, someone you can look up to, someone you can ask for advice. They love you, and they're going to tell you the motherfucking truth. So she's talking to me. She sees I have my book. She sees I have my journal. She's there with her friend that she's known for a very long time. And she asked me, "Are you a comedian?" Because I have my books and stuff. And at the same time, the way that I speak, the way that I am, the way that I present myself, the way I carry myself in this environment, it would make sense that I'm a comedian. I said, no, blah, 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 blah. We get into conversation. And I won't really go into detail because I don't really remember the details. But we ended up talking about how I mentioned how I'm an author, and she's like, oh, like, no, you've always been an author. You have just now got published. And I thought that was a, interesting way to look at it. And then also, she's like, dude, like, you think about doing comedy? And I've been thinking about it. Man, have I been motherfucking thinking about it. I'm like, dude, I feel like just the way my life is going, there's so many people who have been telling me to go on stage. Not necessarily people from like my life and people that I know and old friends and relationships. It's people that I'm meeting like in the comedy environment. And so many people are asking me if I'm a stand-up comedian, and I'm saying no. And some people are like, you should do it. Like, do it. Make it, like, you totally should go on stage. And I'm explaining to this lady, like, yeah, I'm thinking about doing it. She's like, stop thinking about it. Like, just fucking be it. Like, be it. You are a comedian. You are a comedian. Own it. Own it and be it and do it. And I was like, whoa. And I thought about it. I was like, bro, like, I am a comedian. And I'm thanking her profusely, like, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Wow. You know what? That makes sense. I go to the bathroom and I'm starting to reflect on my life. I'm like, this makes so much fucking sense. I'm a comedian. I'm a comedian. All these rooms that I was trying to fit in, I like it didn't make sense. I was trying to fucking fit myself into the wrong rooms, and I'm like, how come I can't be myself? How come I can't express like my deepest desires? Like how come I can't um be as impolitically correct as I possibly can? How come I can't say the things that are on my mind and I have to, be a presentable person and all this kind of stuff? And I think I'm glad I actually went through that because I learned a lot. I fucking learned so much being in those rooms and I'm unbelievably grateful for them. And I was meant to be in those rooms because I was meant to learn something and I was meant to take that into my life where I'm at today. So I don't want to complain in terms of like making it seem like I wasted time and making it seem like that was wrong and they nothing, none of that. I'm fucking grateful as a motherfucker for all that experience, bro. I learned so much. It taught me so much. I met the most motherfucking incredible people. It wasn't necessary. Maybe at that time it was where I was supposed to be. And right now, at this time in my life, it's not where I'm supposed to be. But I get to take that into my life now. And I was like, oh my gosh, what a fucking relief. What a fucking like, oh my God. Breathing, like I can't believe it. Like it's so true. So I start I start writing jokes about the book, about the Real Nigga Bible. And I'm like, I'm gonna start getting on stages. And then that night, man, I saw Dion Cole that night. And Dion Cole, he's the Old Spice guy these days, and he has a couple stand-up specials on Netflix, which are really funny. And funny story about Dion. When I went to that comedy show on Monday to meet Jay Davis, I know I'm jumping around a lot of places, and I hope that this is coherent and makes sense. But this is the way that my brain works. When I went to go meet Jay on Monday at Yamashiro, the Japanese restaurant, I met his partner who he runs it with, which is a fucking hilarious ass motherfucking black guy named Troy. Oh my gosh, Troy is unbelievably hilarious. So I'm at this comedy show, and at a certain point at this comedy show, motherfucking Dion Cole walks into the room. It's an intimate room. Not many attendees. There's probably like 20 people in this room altogether. Dion Cole walks in the room. He's wearing this blue Letterman jacket. It's fresh. It fits him perfect. And it's like, whoa, Dion Cole is here. So, of course, I can't help but like constantly like glance over, like, that's him. At a certain point, I get up from my seat and I go out. I'm about to go use the restroom. So I exit the room and I run into Troy, who's also puts on the comedy show. He goes, "Hey man, did you give a copy of your book to Dion?" I said, "Man, well, like I don't know him. I didn't want to like just like interrupt him and like disturb him." He goes, "Man, go grab a copy of your book." So I go back inside and I sign the book. I said, "Dion, massive respect, man. Thank you so much for sharing your art with the world." Signed it. Actually, it was pre-signed. I wish I didn't fucking pre-sign it. I did it to save time, but I learned a lesson. Like I would prefer to sign it on the spot than pre-sign. It just feels better. There's a lot more intention behind it when I sign it on the spot. There's a lot. It just feels more real. And I go back outside and I give the book to Troy and he's like, all right, let's go inside. And he's leading me. I'm walking behind him. It's like, you ever see that meme with like Jay-Z and Beyonce? And Beyonce's strong and Jay-Z's like in the background, like looking scared. And it's like when your order comes out wrong at the restaurant and your girl has something to say about it. And Beyonce's all strong and shit. And so I'm like, oh my God, like, so I'm all nervous. So we enter the room and I sit on a couch that's next to the couch that Dion's sitting on. And Troy walks up to Dion and Troy puts the book on the armrest of the black leather couch face down. And Troy is whispering into Dion's ear. And then Troy lifts up the book to show Dion the cover. And Dion looks at the book like, yo, what? Like in disbelief, like, what? It's like, what? Troy's whispering in his ear and he points over at me. And I'm like, hey. And then Dion's looking at me like, okay, I see you. Like, mad respect, props for doing this. And I'm like, oh my God, like Dion Cole fucks with the book. He didn't perform that night, all right? But I saw him a couple days later. This is where I'm talking to this older woman, and all this kind of stuff. I'm realizing I'm a comic, and I'm sitting front row to see Dion Cole perform live. And let me tell you something, man. I've been listening to this great song by Jack Harlow called "They Don't Love It." It's a great song. It's a great song, and the hook of it is just like they don't love it, they don't love it, they don't love it. So he's talking about music, right? And it's like he's just talking about how great he is and his passion for the music and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, man, these motherfuckers out here, they're not gonna make it because they don't love it. They don't fucking love it. And Dion, he had his opener go up. His name is Ocean. You can follow him on Instagram, Ocean Live. He's a great comedian. He's really funny. And he did like 20 or 30 minutes. And then Dion hit the stage, fucking crushed it, right? Excuse me. Crushing it. And usually at comedy shows, the way it works is they'll have like an opening act. They may have a couple opening acts and they'll do anywhere between 10, 20, 30 minutes, something like that. And then they'll bring out the main headliner of the night, which was Dion Cole. And Dion, at a certain point during the stage, he's like, look, let me tell you something. Like, I don't have to be here anymore, right? He's like, look at the time back there. You look at the time, it said an hour and 13 minutes. Usually, when a headliner goes up for a show, they'll do like an hour. He's like, dude, like, hey, you're free to leave, because he was talking about some people in the front who were not laughing at his jokes. Like, I don't need to be here anymore. Dion ended up doing an hour and 49 minutes. And at a certain point, I'm looking at him on stage and I'm just absorbing. Like, I'm like taking his class. Like, wow, I'm learning so much about comedy. I'm paying attention, how he sets up his jokes. Like, it was incredible. It was so inspiring. But I realized, like, oh shit, you felt this motherfucker's love for it though. I feel like I saw what carried him through his comedy career, which was a love for it. He loves it. You feel it. You're like, damn, bro, even though you've made it, you still just got a fucking love for this thing. And you can tell he was just enjoying his time. He had a fucking phenomenal night. And I'm like, bro, yeah, this is this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And I got home and I was on cloud fucking nine, dude. I didn't end up going to bed till like 6 o'clock in the morning. I was so wired. I wore my clothes that I was wearing at the comedy club all up to like 5 o'clock, like all up to like 10 minutes before I went to bed. I was still in my jacket, in my pants, in my shoes, full blown outfit, just feeling so unbelievably inspired, writing, fucking talking to the camera. And I'm like, okay, well, how many open mics are near me? I'm thinking maybe there's gonna be like a couple open mics. I remember doing stand up 10 years ago in my area, and I remember doing this open mic at this brewery for fucking like four people who were all spread out. Like the brewery looked like it was like closed, maybe. It was like a Tuesday night, and maybe like a few of those people in the audience were comedians, right? So out of like the five people who were there, three of them were comedians. And I'm standing on this stage that was made out of like wooden crates, so it was like uneven and it was like creaking. And I'm like, how am I getting closer to my dreams doing this? So I'm like, damn, bro, I'm probably gonna have to do some fucking shitty ass motherfucking gigs like that. I find this website that didn't exist 10 years ago, Nigga, there's 6 open mics near me in my area. I was like, yo, 6? I'm like, I gotta go to all of them. So I began writing jokes about the Real Nigga Bible. Because here's the thing about the Real Nigga Bible. As I mentioned, I wrote this by accident. This book is an accident, right? Like a true fucking black father, right? This was not planned. This was not planned. It's crazy how the stereotype got me with this book because I don't want to have kids, but this book, I still ended up becoming an accidental father. How the fuck did that happen? So I'm learning that this thing is this thing is like my partner, right? Now here's the thing. I shine as a human being. I shine. So a lot of people don't like it, and there's some people who fucking absolutely love it. But I've been shining for a very, very fucking long time. I won prom king in high school. I won class clown, and I was voted class clown in high school. And there's a really interesting thing that happens with my book to where my book outshines me. I didn't even realize that I run different communication patterns that I didn't even know I was doing I've been doing for years. Where typically my initial conversations will follow a similar structure where I'm trying to find out what does this person love that's in front of me. I ask questions that really elicit what they love, and I look for points of common ground based on what they love. And they'll tell me something like, well, I ask them questions like, what's really exciting for you in your life right now? Or what's really lighting you up right now? Or if you had all the money in the world, but you still had to work from 9 to 5, what would you do? Just a few questions. Like those are really common questions that I ask, typically very early on in interactions. And based on what they say, I usually have like a story, not necessarily that I have like queued up or anything like that, but I listen to see like do I relate to this person, and if I do, I'll tell a story that shows like, hey, like you and I, we have common ground. Now, that whole structure of conversation goes out of the window the moment I introduce this to the conversation. Now, with having this, with the 6 words that are on this cover, the Real Nigga Bible, Greg Santos, this says more than I can ever say in conversation. People get fixated on this. They can't help but just like their brain can't help but only think about this now. Now, I've had many different interactions, many different reactions. Some people fucking love it. Now, you would think like, yeah, some people love it. You're like, yeah, hell yeah, that's awesome. I feel weird. I feel nervous. It hasn't even hit me that I'm an author even. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I love this. And they're looking at it. I'm like, yeah, I know, right? Isn't it great? And I'm like, what do I say? Like, do I like puff my chest out and say, this is, yeah, of course, like this is revolutionary. This is going to change the game. Like, do I sell it? Do I play the humble card? Like, yeah, I know, right? Isn't this cool? I don't fucking have any idea on how to interact with people after I introduce the book to them. And like, I'm still figuring out where's the sweet spot where I should introduce the book. I typically introduce it early on in the interaction, which tends to bite me in the ass sometimes too, where I hand the book to somebody who absolutely doesn't fuck with it, doesn't find it funny. And that's uncomfortable because now I wish I didn't have handed them the fucking book. And now I'm in a situation where I'm like, this is awkward. It's awkward both ways for me presently as I film this video because I'm still getting used to this. I don't know. I'm in a completely new industry. Completely new. Before this, bro, I was putting on fucking 5-day challenge. You know, you're one relationship away from your life changing forever. And like, we're telling these stories about finding mentors and inspiration. And I came from domestic violence and all this kind of stuff, telling my story and all this kind of stuff. I was a coach. I went from being a coach in this environment as being a like a entrepreneur to now I'm in a comedy club. The rules of the environment are different. They're completely different. And I'm like trying to figure out the rules of this environment and like how to carry myself, who is who knows who, how should I I'm in my head. I'm trying to fucking figure all of this out. So I've been trying to find a flow with my book. You know, if you follow sports at all, if you follow basketball, I'm gonna give this analogy and I'm gonna do it in a way that I feel like can be applicable to everybody. So there's a there's a really fucking great basketball player named Giannis Antetokounmpo, and he's won an NBA championship, and he's most likely gonna go in the NBA Hall of Fame. And he's a Greek black dude, and they call him the Greek Freak, and he's a fucking animal. He's a motherfucking animal. And there's another guy who's like NBA Hall of Fame worthy who is a motherfucking beast as well, named Damian Lillard, who's never won an NBA championship, but this motherfucker can ball, and this nigga's probably most likely gonna be in the Hall of Fame as well. Well, Damian Lillard has been in the NBA for over 10 years and has never had another superstar on his team. Now he's playing together with Giannis. Now, you would think these two motherfucking superstars together on the same team, you're just like, oh my gosh, like, and they play different roles and they play different positions that are complementary to each other. And you think like, oh man, like this shit, like they're about to just fucking go crush it. And this is the first year they're playing together and they're doing well. And at the same time, they have to find each other's flow, right? Yes, they can watch film and all this kind of stuff to try to figure out how to, you know, mesh together better. But at the end of the day, it's this energetic flow of like, where do we flow best together? Where are we like what do we really make happen? I know there's like this there's a music band. I don't know. I listened to this on Rick Rubin's podcast. Tetragrammaton is the name of the podcast, and I heard Rick tell this story about there was like this really famous band, and what they did was they ended up getting rid of one of the guitar players of this band, and they brought in someone who was actually a better guitar player, who was an elite guitar player. And even though they brought in someone who was even better and seemed on paper to be a better fit, they couldn't find a flow. They could never find a flow together. They just couldn't. And that's what I've been trying to do with this book. I'm like, where the fuck is the flow, right? Because I showed it to mentors, and you know, the mentors. Some mentors are like, what the fuck? You know, I sent it to one of my mentors, and they ran into someone I know, and they're like, how's Greg? Is his mental health okay? He sent me this crazy book. And it's like, where does this book belong? Who does this book belong to? And where do we flow? Because in Robert Greene's book, 48 Laws of Power, the first law is don't outshine the master. And I understand, wait, because like when I get outshined by this book, I feel stifled. I feel powerless. I feel frustrated. I feel annoyed. Because I'm like, what the fuck do I do? So you know where the flow is? I believe this is my intuition is telling me this. The flow between me and my book actually exists on stage. On stage. It makes sense. The way to present it is to present it to a room of people and let's have fun. And it's like I'm bringing my business expertise into this because it's like I'm running a mini webinar for people. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm running a funny webinar. And in a world where like the the entrepreneur space where everybody's used to it and you know people tell stories and it's like okay like blah 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 like what are you selling and like people are trying to figure it out. People go to a comedy store to laugh. And when they come across this, it's like this is hilarious. They don't even realize that they're in a fucking marketing pitch. And now I can now, but like it makes it so fun. The jokes that I'm writing, even the way that I present the book on stage, I have jokes around that, and it's cool because I'm answering questions that people tend to ask me right on stage. Like, I don't know if I'm able to read it or whatever it is. Like, and I get to share experiences in terms of like, you know, there have been there's people that see the book and they get fucking scared of it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, like can I read this? I don't want to be caught seen dead with this book. I don't know if this is for me." Understandably so. There are some people who are, aren't black. Quite frankly, I've experienced this with a few white people where they see it and they're like, "This book is for me." This book belongs on my bookshelf. They don't even question it. Like, oh my gosh, finally, a Bible that's been written for me. They just automatically just fucking know. Like, no. I've seen people be fucking protective over the book. Like it's like a guy who looked like a Jew. I don't want to say like a Jew, like a Jewish fellow. I saw him fucking clenching onto this motherfucker like a white woman next to a black man on the bus. This nigga was clutching this book. And just to be able to answer these questions on stage, right, and talk about these funny experiences, and to say what everybody is thinking, and to put a fucking comedic spin on it, and to talk about it in a funny way. So it's like, okay, well, at the same time, like, how do I solve my money problem, right? It's like, I'm not like I'm about to start making a fucking shitload of money from stand up overnight. I have to, have some kinks to work out, all this kind of stuff. And it's like, how can I find a job that can provide me money, but also doesn't require me to work in the morning, but also doesn't require me to work at night? Because I'm sleeping through my mornings, bro. I wake up at fucking like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 12:30, 1 p.m. as well. So I can't work mornings, but like stand up happens at night. So what the fuck do I do? Well, what I can do, I'm living at home with my parents right now, and they don't charge me for rent. They don't charge me for food. I don't pay anything. My car is paid off. My phone bill is 25 bucks a month. I'm Gucci. I can live very inexpensively. I have 100 and something dollars to my name. And it's like, okay, well, what feels exciting for me? And that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of stuff I'm doing, the way I move is counterintuitive, and it's not gonna make sense to a lot of people. But the thing is, like, I have full context. I was just talking to a mentee of mine the other day who told me about this risk that they're gonna take. And I told them, no, you shouldn't do it. That's a horrible decision. And they sent me back a message and they filled me in with more context. And I said, well, dude, you have all the context. Like, there's so much I don't know. You're in your specific position. Because I remember one time I asked a friend of mine, like, I lost my health for like 13 months between 2022 and 2023. And at a certain point, there's a lot of people who were like saying that they were worried about me, all this kind of stuff. But I felt like I was okay. Like there was nothing to worry about in terms of my life and all this kind of stuff, and I'll figure it out. And I don't like worry. I don't like when people worry about me. I hate it because when people, I can get it. Like if you worry about my health, that's different. But like if you worry about like my life in terms of like where it's going and all that kind of stuff, I don't really like that because it feels like I understand some people are coming from a great place, right? Like, hey, like they care for me. They want me to have a good, thriving career. They want to make sure that I'm setting myself up for my life and all this kind of stuff. They're coming from a great place. But worry is doubtful energy. I don't like doubtful energy. I don't like people worrying about me. I don't like it. It doesn't feel good for me. It doesn't feel like they carry belief about me. So what I did was I reached out to a spiritual friend of mine and I said, "Look, man, all these people are saying they're worried about me, but like this is how I feel. Like I feel like I shouldn't worry." So I'm like bouncing this off of him. Like, "Can you give me like some help or advice, like how I should deal with this?" And he said, "Look, man, I can't really give you advice, man, because I don't have the full context of the situation. Only you have the full context of the situation. So I know you're gonna be tempted to be like, it's so obvious, and it's like, but for me, and it's obvious to me too. It's obvious to me too. But like, for me, I want to do it my way. I'm doing it Greg Santos's way. Everyone wants to do it the internet guru way, where like the strategy to do it this way these days, and this is how you do it. This is how you make it happen. All this kind of stuff. That's their way of doing it. That's their way of going about life. That's their way of going about business. And that's fine. It worked for them. And it works for them. And if they enjoy it or if they don't enjoy it, that's not my business. But I'm going to do this my way. I'm going to do this in a way that's enjoyable for me, that lights me up. So, what do I do for money? Well, I can donate plasma. In the US, we can donate plasma, make like $100 or something like that. For the first couple times donating plasma, then it's like $50 or some shit like that afterwards. It buys me some time to work through my comedy stuff. It also allows me to like afford gas to get me to the comedy places, and it's like, okay, I can live cheaply at home, and it's like, okay, then what? I don't know. We'll figure it out. But right now, let's just get on stage. Let's get on stage as much as we can. Let's do stand up. Let's work out these comedy bits, and let's keep connecting with people. Let's have people buy the book. Let's have because let me tell you something. Some people, when they find out about this book, they fucking absolutely lose their fucking minds about it. They absolutely fucking love it. Upon looking at the title, they automatically are like, I need this book on my shelf. I don't give a shit. You don't need to sell me on nothing. This is incredible. I fucking love it. This is hilarious. Other people are like, okay, this is interesting. I don't know. Other people are just absolutely fucking like, I don't want anything to do with it. Like they feel bad like if they even see a word that starts with the letter N. Absolutely not. They don't even say they N doesn't even exist in their vocabulary. Nigga, they use M's. They replace all their N's with M's. Are you going to Nigeria? You're from Nigeria? Oh man. So the experience is incredible. When I hand the book to someone and they love it, it's like, whoa, it's kind of overwhelming because I'm like, I don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. Who's gonna lead this conversation? But if someone finds out about this through the audience, alongside with the comedy set, I'm gonna be building some motherfucking raving fans. I'm gonna have people who are gonna fucking demand a copy of my book after the shows. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. But what I do know is this seems to be the next best steps. I don't want to work another job. I just like I can work in a restaurant job where I can make some okay money that can get me by. That will take, time away from stand up momentarily, but here's what people don't see, right? Because I remember when I was quitting my job at the restaurant that I was working at, and I was going all in on my book, and there was this guy who's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, man, you can get you like, why are you quitting, man? Maybe you can get yourself a night job while you can make this like you make this happen." I get where he's coming from. I get it. I'm like, I don't want to work no fucking night job. And then even with other people that I know who are like, "No, like you can't quit your job, man. Like, what about money? All this kind of stuff." I'm like, oh, I'm good, bro. I got my motherfucking family. Like, I'll be all right. But the thing is, there's so much that goes with the job, and I want my full focus to be on my book. I want to use all of my cognitive resources. I said I'm all in on this. And the thing is, like, what was starting to happen at the previous place that I was working at, I didn't like most of the people. I didn't like maybe 90% of the people that I work with. But the thing is, it's human nature to want to be liked by the people that you're around because it helped us survive over the course of time, right? It was within our benefit to survive, to be liked by the people in our tribe because it helped us survive and it helped our offspring survive. So there's a pressure, there's a human tendency to want to be liked by people. So here I am in this environment wanting to be liked by people that I don't even like. I'm wondering what people think about me. And everybody in this environment talks shit about each other. And I'm wondering what people are saying about me behind my back. Do you understand this? I can't build a successful career with my book while I'm also trying to problem solve here. And I'm thinking about people that I don't like, and I'm thinking about people that I resent, and I'm thinking about what are the opinions of these people who are going to do absolutely nothing with their lives or thinking about me. And I'm wanting to be liked by them. I want to hang out with them. I want to be part of the tribe with them. People are hanging out with each other, and I want to invite all this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, I don't even really like these people. So I don't want that. I don't want that in my head. I want to be fully immersed in that. And if that means making significantly less money, if that means making fucking $400, $500 a month from donating plasma, so be it. So be it. So be it. We'll see what the fuck happens. Look, I don't have the steps 1 through 10. I don't have the game plan. I don't know where I'm going. Am I going to be a professional fucking stand-up comedian? It's possible. It looks like that's where life is taking me and like life where I'm headed. It seems like that's the only place where I work in unison, in flow with my book, because I don't work in flow with my book through social media, creating social media content in terms of I have to create all these reels and I have to talk about the book and then I have to, organize some kind of film thing where like some kind of public stunt or some shit. That doesn't really flow with me. But the stage lights me up. And if I know one thing to be true, I remember. Oh man, if I know one thing to be true, it's that you just never know who the fuck is in the audience as well, man. You just never know. You never know what opportunity can lead to what. And just what I read from the book, like, look, dude, I'm just gonna go moment by moment. I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm gonna go on this grand adventure. I don't have the next 10 steps planned. I know the next step and maybe the step after that, and I'm going to figure it out. And to me, it's scary. It's anxiety inducing, of course. But at the same time, it's exciting and it's adventurous. So, anyway, going back to the original point, what I was talking about maybe about 50 minutes ago, I'm on the call with my friends last night. And I woke up this morning and I'm looking for points of leverage, right? They gave me all these ideas. They gave me all these incredible ideas, and I'm grateful for them all. And I'm just like, I wanted to have that call because I wanted to spark different ideas in terms of what I can do. And I came to this conclusion. I've been documenting for the last couple years. I love it. I'm great at it. And you know what? I think people would love to watch a reality YouTube TV show about the guy who wrote the Real Nigga Bible and what his life is like. And just be authentic. Because I don't want to do anything that's like fake. I just want to be myself, bro. I only want to be around people that fuck with me, that love what I do. I only want opportunities that are for me. I don't want to be anything or do anything that's not for me. I'm done living that life. I'm done living that life. I'm living my life now. So, yeah, I want to take you on that journey because I think it's going to be a wild adventure, man. I think it'll be a wild adventure because it goes down in history, bro. I wrote a new Bible. I wrote a book that can potentially go down in motherfucking history. I wrote a book that can potentially keep my name alive for the next couple 100 years, bro. How crazy is that? Think about it. It's the truth. It's the truth. I wrote a book that can be talked about long after I'm dead. I have created something that people will talk about. And it's like, well, what life did that guy lead? What life did the Real Nigga Bible guy lead? And it's crazy. It's been, you know, changing how I think as well in my mind, man. Because it's like, well, the guy who wrote the Real Nigga Bible, bro, like this nigga has probably lived like a legendary life. A legendary life. Has to. The guy who wrote the Real Nigga Bible has to fuck at least 1,000 white women. At least. Bro, how disappointing is it if the guy who wrote the Real Nigga Bible was like fucking like settled down with like one girl throughout his life? Nah, bro, people don't want that. The real nigga, like I, I am now the representative of real niggas. I'm the representative of real niggas across the globe. I wrote the book. It belongs to me. I'm gonna be rich as fuck from this, bro. One day, I'm probably gonna sell the rights to this one day for like $100 million, bro. Think about that. Think about that. I'm gonna build my motherfucking life. I'm gonna build a bunch of shit. Things are gonna happen. My stand up, my career, all this kind of stuff, relationships, all this kind of stuff. And then there's gonna we can build skills upon this. We can do so much about it, man. Once it blows up and I have opportunities ringing off the yin yang, I can build this into $100 million brand, bro. It's nuts. And I think my best bet is to bring you along the journey with me. So let's have some fucking fun together. Let's do it. So today's Saturday. I ain't got no job. I ain't got shit to do. You know what I'm gonna do? Today, I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna watch Better Call Saul. And I'm gonna write some jokes. And then tomorrow, I'm probably gonna do the same thing. And then Monday, for the first open mic, I'm gonna do the same thing probably all the way up until it's time for me to go on stage. And that's for me. For me, that's fun. For me, that I enjoy my life that way. And so I'm gonna document that, document my fucking journey, and I may or may not put clips on my stand up online because I'm gonna be working out material, and I'm sure like there's gonna be parts that fucking absolutely suck. There's gonna be points that are really good. There's gonna be points that need some work, and it's time for me to start getting it dialed in, start getting down my fucking comedy routine. Around the Real Nigga Bible. People been asking me about part two. When is part two coming? And you know what? I'll tell you how it feels when people ask me for a part two. What it does is it puts pressure on me immediately. I'm like, oh, but I get where people are coming from. They're coming from a great place. What they're telling me is, I love the book so much, I can't wait to read more. I can't wait to experience more. And I'm grateful for that. For someone to ask about when's a part two coming, bro, to be in that position, that's actually really fucking incredible. So how many people write a book and nobody ever asks them that? And I've had more than a handful of people ask me about part two. They're itching for it because the book is small. It's a small book. And they're like, I want more. And it's like, you know what part two is? Part two is the comedy act behind the book. If you love the book, because the book's hilarious, but imagine the author giving you commentary about the book and what it's like to have this book and oh my gosh, dude, it's so unique. It's unique because you have other comedians, they talk about similar things in terms of like politics, or, some people go into topical things that people will always talk about and all that kind of stuff. And to thrive as a comedian doing that is tough because your point of view has to be so unique and different from everybody else that it has to stand out. And a lot of people are talking about similar things. But what if you talked about something completely new that nobody else is talking about? Nobody else can claim. Nobody else can even touch. We have something here. And I'm going to figure it out. And I like it. It feels good in my body. Okay, I'll be broke for a little bit. I'll figure it out. I have some mentors, and I'm gonna go hit up these open mics, and I'm feeling confident that Jay will probably put me on his stage at Yamashiro once I have like 3 or 5 minutes I feel really comfortable with. Jay loves me. I love Jay. I think he'd be very happy to help me out and to put me on that stage. I really do believe that. And who knows from there? Who the fuck knows from there? But they, like Jay and his partner Troy, um, they they fucking love it. They promote my book for me. They tell comedians, they tell people in the audience, they can't wait to share it. And I'm glad I have these raving fans and I want to create more. And I think the way for me to create more is through stage, man. Just imagine someone discovering this book in the audience and they're laughing, they're cracking up. Oh my gosh, this is great. They're going to be talking about this book. They're going to be talking about the comedy act. They're going to want to follow me on Instagram. They're going to want to post it on social media, all this kind of stuff. I'm going to build myself a little army here. Who knows how it's going to happen? I don't know. I have no clue. But these are the next steps for me. And at the same time as well, let me tell you something. I fucking hate editing. I hate editing. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. This is going to be just authenticity, as honest and raw as I possibly can while protecting people who are involved in my videos as much as I can in terms of, maybe it's a white person who says nigga. All right, maybe I'll cut that out. I'm not trying to ruin careers here. So, yeah, let's go on this journey, right? Come along and ride on the fantastic voyage. Right now to a land of funk. Come along. So let's have some fun. Let's have some laughs. Let's meet some white women. Let's meet some Latino women as well. I don't want to just be the white bitches, man. I want some Latinas and yeah, Latinas and white bitches. That's it. All I want for Christmas is bitches. Oh, for the last like 15 years. All right. And dude, as a matter of fact, dude, when I was in business, dude, that's all I wanted, man. I just wanted bitches. Like when I was in business, I'm like, okay, I'm going to these like big name entrepreneur events, and yes, like awesome, I'm meeting these successful people, but like, bro, like, I'm just like, when are the bitches coming? They ain't no bitches. Apparently, the cavalry is on its way. I don't know where it's at. I don't know when it's gonna get here. It seems to be lost because it's been many years. Because ain't no bitches coming sucking my dick. Life has unraveled in a way that I have not expected. That it's not how I wanted it to go. So I wanted to be abundantly clear here. Make no mistake about what my intentions are. Yes, I want to be financially independent, but I also really want bitches. All right? Let it be known from the jump. We have a lot of fun, a lot of adventure to experience together, you and I. So let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Some of the videos are going to be like this, where I'm talking like this, just like updating you, and other videos are going to be of me actually in the scene, meeting people, connecting with people, laughing with people, and just going all in with this. So, one thing I've been thinking about a lot is leverage. Where are my points of leverage? Like, how can I leverage as much as I possibly can? My book is leverage, right? Okay, how can I leverage my book? Well, I can leverage it through social media. Well, I guess I'll do it through this way. I can leverage my book through people. Well, I can leverage my book through the stage. And like, this is what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for all of these points of leverage to help me out as much as I can to help have this thing explode. So, um, with this video, what it's leverage. I've been documenting for the last 2 years. You can see that I'm extremely comfortable with the camera. I don't even notice it really. It's not like a foreign thing. But when I first started documenting, it was weird. It took me several months for me to get. Actually, it took me maybe like, yeah, it took me a long time to be comfortable with this, man. Like even like maybe even a year and a half to get comfortable with the camera in terms of like was holding it and like other people. I'm still getting used to it, to be honest with you too. Like I get nervous to like pull it out when I'm with other people and all this kind of shit. So but this is a passion of mine. I just love documenting because I know I'm going to be very successful one day, and I've known that for a while now. and I think a lot of people know that I'm going to be successful. So, yeah, here's a fun little reality TV show about the guy who wrote the Real Nigga Bible.